Hey everyone, welcome back. So, we're diving straight into some seriously thought-provoking stuff today, picking up on Shahid Bolson's take on the African American experience. He kicks off with this incredibly strong claim, right? That African Americans have been, more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than any other people, literally starting at like less than zero. Treated as subhuman for centuries, denied basic education, everything.
Whoa, Michael, less than zero. That's a heavy start to the conversation. And then this cultural superpower bit that he also mentions. How do you even begin to square those two extremes,
Well, that's exactly his point, Dave. It's the very intensity of that hardship, the unique, brutal crucible they went through here in America that forged them into this global cultural superpower. I mean, think about it. Culturally, they're a superpower. Whatever soft power America has in the global South, around the world, like people are watching the United States, right? It's largely due to the unique cultural output of African Americans. It's undeniable, honestly. And this leads to Bolson's really insightful argument, I think, about identity. He argues that African Americans are actually more American than anyone else. Think about it. Like, he talks about himself. I'm Irish American, I'm German American, I'm Italian American. He can, trace his roots, his culture, his language back to Europe, right? But Black Americans, they can't. Their ties were literally severed, dude. Their original history, language, culture completely wiped out.
So, essentially, because their original identity was stolen from them, their new identity, the American part, is like purer or more fundamental if you don't have an alternative to cling to?
Exactly, precisely. Their identity, their culture, their very way of life was forged right here in the fires of this country. It's a completely unique phenomenon on Earth, literally not duplicated anywhere else. They weren't, just immigrants choosing a new life with their culture intact. They were stripped, brought here, and had to build something entirely new out of profound loss. They are, he says, the original Americans. It's really about what Bolson calls the forced creation of a new identity. He points out that for African Americans, they don't know what country their ancestors came from, what specific culture they had, what language they spoke, or even what their original religion was. That's all gone. And that's not the case for other groups who identify as hyphenated Americans. They still have those connections.
Yeah, I get that. So, the Irish American community can celebrate St. Patrick's Day and trace their family history to a specific county in Ireland, or Germans have their Oktoberfest. Black Americans don't have that specific geographic or cultural touchstone in Africa anymore because it was taken.
Right. It makes their cultural tapestry uniquely American in its origin and evolution. They were cut off from everything else, literally. And this unique experience, as he sees it, means their struggle and their triumphs are fundamentally American in a way no other groups are. And, there's nobody else like that in the world. There's no other culture like that in the world. But here's where it gets really sticky. And Bolson uses this incredibly vivid, almost jarring metaphor. He says that to talk about race in America is like trying to perform brain surgery while wearing a hazmat suit on an LSD patient who thinks you're a monster who's trying to attack him.
Wow. Okay, that's like a pretty intense image, Michael. A hazmat suit, LSD, thinking you're a monster. He's certainly not mincing words, is he? But why that intense? What makes it so impossible to talk about without, causing a complete meltdown?
Well, he explains that it's because the patient, America, the West generally, is profoundly in denial about its own condition. It's built this entire ethos, this national identity, specifically to deny the brutal reality of its history regarding race. So if you try to perform brain surgery, address the deep-seated racial issues, You're perceived as attacking the patient's very identity, their fundamental self-conception. They think you're a monster, basically. He really leans into this idea that the American ethos is largely a fabricated illusion. It's an aspirational ethos at best. It's what America wants to be, a country of freedom and justice for all. But Bolson argues it's a construct deliberately built to cover up the actual history. This is where he introduces the idea of a split personality disorder for America and the West.
A split personality disorder? So he's saying there's a disconnect between the identity America projects and the reality of its past and present? Like almost two different narratives operating simultaneously?
Precisely. He says their ethos, their ideal self, is completely different from their actual character and psyche, which are products of a history full of atrocities, criminal viciousness, and brutality they've inflicted on others, including each other. The ethos is designed to deny that history, to pretend it's not the case. It's built to cover up their deeds, to hide their actions, and to deny them. It's literally created a very fractured national psyche or national identity. And this, Dave, is precisely where he brings in holidays like Black History Month and Juneteenth. He doesn't see them as genuine opportunities for celebration, but as obligations imposed on Black people. It's a way of saying, we'll give you this time to talk about it because it will never be integrated into our story. We will even have apartheid in our telling of history. There's Black history and then history officially.
So you're saying, or Bolson is saying, that it's not about acknowledging the history as part of the whole, but putting it in a separate box, and that this separation prevents real healing or understanding?
Exactly. It compartmentalizes the narrative, offering palatable stories about, say, Harriet Tubman or George Washington Carver, avoiding the truly uncomfortable parts. It's designed to prevent a full, honest reckoning with history, to keep it contained and positive rather than integrating it into the actual American narrative. And the whole purpose of all these types of activities is to maintain the compartmentalization of this split personality, to never let the two meet. Because if they meet, Bolson says, it would be a catastrophe. So what's Bolson's path forward in all this? He says there's only one prospect for genuine change in America: Islam. Now, putting aside the specific religion, his broader point is absolutely critical. Black Americans need to stop waiting for radical saviors, whether it's politicians or social movements promising quick fixes to vote out injustice. He views that as a futile approach because the system itself is designed to perpetuate this historical denial and maintain the status quo.
So he's advocating for a more internal, self-reliant approach then? Not waiting for permission or validation from the existing power structures, but building something separate?
Precisely. He calls for organizing, building self-sustaining systems, economic unity, civic literacy, and community-based economics. This isn't about revenge, he stresses, but about building power that cannot be dismantled by a mere change in administration. He's essentially saying, don't just vote out one injustice, fundamentally alter the power dynamics and create something truly independent. It's a deep message. He makes a really powerful statement. The answer to oppression is not hatred. It is organized love and strategic power. He believes true change comes from economic unity and civic literacy, not just viral hashtags or fleeting protests. He argues that unity is Black America's most powerful weapon, and when they achieve solidarity across faith, class, and gender lines, Trumpism, or any ism for that matter, loses its grip.
That's a profoundly different kind of resistance, Michael. It's not just about reacting to injustice, but about actively constructing a new reality. Building rather than constantly just fighting what's already there.
Absolutely. He emphasizes that the world watches Black Americans as a moral compass. When Black Americans stand up, the world learns what true resistance looks like. It's about peaceful, organized, visionary resistance, not reactive or hateful, but rooted in building something enduring that transforms the very landscape of power. They cannot threaten your survival when people create self-sustaining systems. Bolson predicts that movements like Trumpism, like every popular surge, will eventually fade. But the structures of inequality, this deeply ingrained denial of history, will remain unless people truly stay awake. He challenges Black Americans and their allies to use this moment, this exposure of America's racial divide, to rewrite the social contract, to understand the split personality disorder that the West has, that America has, basically, and to confront it.
So it's a call to sustained consciousness, to building internal strength and unity, and not just reacting to political cycles, but proactively shaping a new future. It's about fundamental structural transformation rather than superficial fixes that don't last.
It truly is. It's about demanding that history acknowledges its full truth, that the national identity is reconciled with reality, and that the long-term project of building genuine, self-sustaining power for Black Americans continues no matter who is in office. That's his core message, his truth bomb. The awakening of Black America is the only way to truly transform the nation. You have to uproot it economically, intellectually, and spiritually.
Wow, Michael, that's a powerful call to action and a deeply unsettling diagnosis of America's psyche. It's not just about fixing symptoms, but truly uprooting fundamental issues.
It really is, Dave. It's a seismic shift in perspective, moving beyond superficial reforms to a complete reevaluation of identity, history, and power dynamics. Bolson isn't asking for incremental change, he's demanding a fundamental transformation.
And it underscores the sheer weight of what's at stake, you know? The necessity of this awakening he speaks of, not just for Black America, but for the nation to truly confront its fractured self.
Absolutely. It's a challenging but ultimately hopeful vision of a unified, self-sustaining community leading the way. And I think that's a powerful note to leave our audience with today.
Indeed, a lot to reflect on. We've covered some incredibly dense and important ground.
All right. We want to thank y'all for being part of our conversation.